Hey, welcome to my Carnivore channel. My name is Steve, and this is part two of my Carnivore Diet journey. Last time I talked to you, we kind of left off where I had set up an appointment for my gastric bypass surgery. I was looking into it. I kind of want to touch base, kind of go over a little bit about really where I was at that moment. It was this year, 2023. And at the beginning of the year, I had gotten a pulmonary embolism that kind of put me in the hospital for quite a few days. Actually, I was in the hospital for me and my wife's 30th anniversary. That's never fun. It's the worst anniversary ever. uh, I was experiencing a lot of pain with gout. Um, I had a lot of edema in my legs. I actually even had edema in my skull. Like I could push on my head and leave those divots like you would be able to in somebody's leg. That was the weirdest thing. I had my blood pressure was high. My knees were in pain. My lower back was in pain when I walked or stood up. It didn't matter. I had a chair in the kitchen that I would sit in order to do the dishes, or I would have to sit in if I was helping cook at the stove. That was always present. There's times where there were stairs at work where I just dreaded. Every once in a while, we have an all company meeting that we'd have to go down in the basement for, and oh my gosh, it was tough going down the stairs, but dreaded having to go back up those stairs again. Then I'd go up the stairs, I'd be in pain, I'd be winded, I'd sit down in a chair at the top of the stairs and everybody would be passing, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine, I'm just waiting for Teresa," or whatever. I thought I was fooling them. I know exactly. They knew why I was sitting there. Um, and then I would have to walk across the parking lot to another building where I'd sit down and wait. And then I'd get in my car to drive across the street back to my office. I couldn't even walk across the street. And it was bad because my boss, his office was in the basement of that building. And so when I went to meet with him and it was the end of his day, we'd walk up the stairs together and then he'd be walking to his car, expecting me to walk with him, and I would just be out of breath and I would be in pain. The combination of those two things made it so that I could not even concentrate on the conversation I was having. I'm sure I said some really kind of crazy things that had nothing to do with the conversation we were having during those times. But I mean, he was always great about it, but I was always embarrassed about it. And and that kind of led up to the point where one day I was sitting in the car waiting for Teresa at Walmart, and I saw this guy walking into the store, and I was jealous of the fact that he could walk and I couldn't. So it made me kind of realize that that the limited amount of life that I was living, I was also holding back my wife because Teresa had to limit her life based on what I could and could not do. And I just didn't think that was fair. And so that is what brought me to the point in early July that I set up my appointment for the gastric bypass. So fast forward about 4 weeks. It was Friday, July 27th. My office building was pretty much empty. I was finishing up the paperwork for the week and listening to some podcasts. And across my feed came the suggestion of a channel called Homestead How. I'd never ever heard of them. I've never looked them up, but they showed up on my feed. And there was a thumbnail saying that this guy had lost 243 pounds in a year. Oh, holy cow. I've got to listen to this one. So I clicked on it and I started listening, and they were talking about the carnivore diet. I had heard about the carnivore diet. I mean, I heard Joe Rogan talking about it. I heard Jordan Peterson talking about it, his daughter. And I always got the feeling, well, that's good for them. I'm glad it worked for them. But, they never were at the point where I am. In fact, their beginning weight was probably where I wish my ideal weight would be. And so I never kind of put like two and two together that might be something that I should try. I mean, so but I started listening to this podcast with Sean, and it was amazing because it was like my story was coming out of his mouth. Everything he was talking about, I could completely relate to. And it really kind of got me sucked into the frame of mind that maybe there's something else that I could do besides have this gastric bypass surgery. Because all my life, well, for the past 20 years, I have always done everything I could to not do gastric bypass, to not have that surgery. And so it was a completely defeating feeling making that appointment. But for the first time in a very long time, I felt like I had hope again. And there were a couple of things that he said, and I actually want to just read them verbatim because it's really, really important, and it was impactful to me. He said, "If you have tried everything else, why not try the carnivore diet? I have to get this message to that one person that has lost hope and ready to give up. Give this a try and see what it does for you, and come back and let's talk." And so that's what I did. I immediately called the surgeon and I canceled the appointment. And then I called my wife and I said, I found this thing, we got to do it. She said, okay. So that day we went, first thing I did was I emailed Sean and I told him exactly what I was going to do, and that I thanked him for the podcast. And after work, we headed over to Walmart. I got in that little scooter that they have, the mobility scooter, and we went and we got bacon, we got beef, we got eggs, we got butter, we got all of it. Enough to last us probably way more than we should have, but I was excited. And then we got home, we got it all packed into the refrigerator and freezer. But then we had all this other stuff. We had all this stuff that comes with, the pantry stuff and the stuff that wouldn't be on the diet in the refrigerator and the freezer. So the next thing we did is the following day on Saturday, we have a community post, our community page on Facebook. So I posted on there that we're changing our diet. We have all this food. We took and anybody that wants it can come over and grab whatever they want. And we took a picture of my wife's 2 craft tables with all of our food laid out. And, within 5 hours, everything was gone. Everything. Well, I think they left the dried beans. I don't blame them. But that's kind of how we started. And it was a good place for us to start because we were able to begin with, from a different place, gratefulness, felt more connected to the community. We're able to help other people, helped us feel good about the start we were making as well. And then we went straight to the beef, bacon, butter, and eggs. And we were very strict about it for 4 days. And it was that 5th day. And what had happened was it was a long day at work, and we were going home, and I was just famished. I was so hungry. So what we ended up doing was we stopped at McDonald's on the way, got a couple double cheeseburgers, took the bread off, and just ate those hamburger patties. Not an ideal thing to do. However, I was not very happy at the time. So we did that, and at that point I decided I am never coming into that situation again. So on our way home, we stopped and got some things that we needed, and then we also picked up a dehydrator and a London broil, and I learned how to make beef jerky. And really from that day on, I'm never outside of the house without at least a big pack of beef jerky, whether it's in my bag or my briefcase or whatever. I always have something just in case. That first week, my bowels started immediately, day one, acted really goofy, but that only lasted for a few days. I think by day 5, I was kind of back to normal again. But that was kind of a surprise. I did not expect that. I probably should have, but I didn't. And then we started going to the pool. We started swimming. And when I say swimming, I told Dave Mack on his channel that it's less swimming and more like floating forward aggressively. So I mean, it took me about an hour to do like 25 laps. But you know, I didn't care. I knew I was there. I didn't care. For the first time in a long time, I took off my shirt and jumped into the pool with my swim trunks on and just went for it. I didn't care who was looking. I didn't care what they thought. It just didn't matter to me. I was there for a purpose. But we did that for the week, and then at the end of the week, I noticed that I was able to walk from the reception desk back to my office without being in hardly any pain at all, and I was not winded. And that was like the first thing that went, oh my gosh, things are changing. Things are actually really changing for the better. So at the end of the first week, I weighed myself. I started at 525 pounds. When I started at the end of the first week, I was down to 508 pounds. I'd lost 17 pounds. And I know a lot of it was like water weight and stuff like that, but it didn't matter. To me, it didn't matter at all, because that was 17 pounds, even if it was all water weight. I was feeling so much better physically. So, not to mention that the edema that was in my legs was like 90% gone. And that edema that was in my head, that was completely gone. I was back to being hard-headed again. It was great. So, what a great first week that we had. Week 2 came along, and I tried to start, I guess, reintroduce a couple things, very prematurely. I wouldn't recommend doing this for anybody, but I started introducing cheese and dairy, and that just made me feel bloated. That was just horrible. I also had a doctor's appointment for the first time since starting the Carnivore Diet, and I explained to her, because I went because I had a flare-up on my gout, hadn't gone away yet. So I went to her and explained to her, I said, I know how it sounds, but I got this gout. But I'm also doing this carnivore diet, which is doing very well for me. And I don't want to come off of it. I just need you to help me get this gout under control. And she was very good about it. She prescribed me with allopurinol and then set me up for a blood test. So and actually since then I go once a month to get my blood tested. I think that she's kind of testing like how it's affecting me, so that if the numbers start going the wrong way, then she can kind of shake her finger at me and say, okay, well, enough is enough, let's do something else. But the numbers have been coming back good. We continued to go to the pool 3 or 4 times a week during that week, and I actually restarted my YouTube channel. So I started it years ago, this channel, and it was basically for a project that I had for when I was going to school. It was like an English communications type of class, and it was a project. So that's something I needed some place to store that video that I made, because I really loved it, and I just never wanted to lose it. So I created the YouTube channel. So I went back into it, changed the name of it, and I decided I was going to start filming videos like this, really for the progress for myself, because I wanted to keep some type of diary of my progress, and it's also as a reminder kind of how far that I've come. And if anybody ever said, oh yeah, sure, you lost X amount of weight, I can say, I can prove it. Here's my channel, go check me out. So, but it was a pretty good second week. At that point, a lot of my cravings that I had were only tempted by like commercials and stuff like that I saw on TV. Um, that was pretty much it. Uh, but at the end of the second week, when I weighed in, it was the first time that I've been under 500 pounds in I don't know how long. I was 499 pounds, and so I'd lost another 9 pounds in week two. So a total of what, 26 pounds in 2 weeks. Absolutely amazing, and um, I was just ecstatic. I could not believe my eyes. So in week three, what happened was I started noticing that I really wanted to help other people. And so I really wanted to go ahead and encourage other people. So I started talking about what I was doing and the results that I was getting. Then it wasn't just with the people that I knew, like at work. I'd be talking about it to people that we saw at the pool, and I probably shared a little bit too much for the somebody that's only been in it for a couple of weeks. But it was something that I really felt that I wanted to do, and something that I had to do, and I wanted to help other people and encourage other people. And if they were in the situation I was just a couple weeks ago, thinking that, well, I'm kind of stuck like this for the rest of my life, that there's hope. And but yeah, week three, we kept going to the pool in 60 minutes, where I'd have in the 60-minute workout that I had there, where I had done 24 laps. I found I did it in 55, and it really wasn't about how fast I could do it. It's just the fact that I was moving, but that improvement was pretty cool. My self-esteem was going up, and and that was a good thing, because that week I had to do a podcast for our local Chamber of Commerce, and if I don't think I would have been able to do it as well as I did if it wasn't for the increased self-esteem that I've been picking up over the past couple of weeks. But afterwards, I decided I was going to test myself and go to the restaurant. That was fun. It was funny. The waitress was completely confused when I said that I didn't want the hash browns, and I didn't want the toast. I didn't want them to be changed out for slices of tomato or cottage cheese or fruit cup. Um, Passed on all of that, but walked out feeling really good and proud that I could go into a situation where it would have been completely different result just a couple of weeks prior to that. But all in all, it was a good week. Temptations weren't that bad. Cravings, I didn't really get many, and I weighed myself in at 492 pounds after 3 weeks. I'd lost 33 pounds. My wife had lost 18 pounds. So we had lost over 50 pounds together in just such a short period of time. And the excitement was just amazing. So I'm going to just kind of go over week 4 through 11, just really high level. This whole time that up until, up even now, on a weekly basis, I still email Sean every weigh-in day and just kind of give him an update of kind of what I've been doing, and how, if there are any issues that have come up. He gives me a lot of great suggestions. Really kind of keeps me on track. He's become a really great friend to me, and through email, through text messages. In fact, from week 4 to 11, I was able to go and to the meetup that was in South Carolina from Carnivore Quest, and I got to meet Sean. I got to meet Larry from Carnivore Quest. I got to meet Carnivore Kip, and I'm telling you, those guys are incredible. If you think they're great guys on their Friday night podcast, they definitely are great guys. So not only did we go to that meetup in those the last 7 weeks, but we've done things that I never thought I'd be able to do, like go to a festival. We went to a hot air balloon festival, which included a lot of walking. I never thought that I'd be able to do something like that. It's amazing, incredible, mind blowing is pretty much what it is. I've thrown out my lazy boy chair that was kind of my nesting spot for years. My my eating habits have kind of eventually, I think it was like maybe week 9, that they diminished down to like now I do like one meal a day, one day, and then the next day is 2 meals a day, and then back to one meal a day. And it's not something I'm concentrating on or working on. It's just something that naturally has happened. Um, but I have seen periods of time in which my weight loss is kind of stalled out on me. And I was told that it's because of that's the time your body's healing itself. And I thought it didn't make sense to me. My body's healing itself, and there's no way to really, I thought, to measure that. And but I'm like, let's just keep sticking with it and see what happens. And thank God I did, because and and they're right. When you hit that kind of like that stall in your weight loss, your body's healing itself. And I got proof of that when I went to get my blood drawn last time, because number one, I know because my edema is gone, both in my calves and my head. All right. Also, my blood pressure has gone down. My cholesterol level has gone down. My kidney function has improved. I'm no longer pre-diabetic, and it's just insane. And I don't know if my doctor is happy about that, but it's working. It's definitely working. And in those stairs, this past week we had one of those all company meetings, and I walked down the stairs just fine. I walked up the stairs just fine. I didn't have to stop at the top of the stairs and have everybody walk past me. Just went straight over to the building next door, said goodbye to my wife, and then walked across the street back to my office, sat down like it was nothing. So, I mean, that is probably one of the greatest feelings I've had in a very, very long time, is be able to do that. But that's where we are right now. So right now, I weighed myself today, and I'm down to 470 pounds. 11 weeks, I've lost 55 pounds total. I believe my wife is like 24 pounds that she's lost. So we are doing very, very well. And it all had to do with getting, running into the Intentional Carnivore, Shaun White's podcast, and everything that he did to get himself to the point where he could help people like me, and in turn improve my life, improve my marriage. It just improved everything. So, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys. I really appreciate the comments that you leave. They really kind of fuel me even further. I get excited. I feel strong when I think about all the things that have happened over the short couple months. And I just can't wait to see what happens in the future. I'm not going to be making videos like weekly for progress reports, just because I think it's probably too much. But I'm going to aim for maybe like once a month, maybe once every month and a half, depending upon my schedule and also kind of what's happened. I don't want to make a video just to make a video without anything to really report. But I'll be making other videos too along the way. I'm hoping to make maybe 1 or 2 a week that aren't necessarily my journey type of reports, but and videos, but stuff to just keep in contact with you and get feedback from you and see how you guys are doing too. So yeah, so for those videos, if you could do me a favor, if there's anything you'd like to see, like I have a couple ideas for like recipe and cooking videos. I have a couple ideas about kind of carnivore concepts and maybe some tips and tricks that I've learned along the way, and also just how to broach the subject of carnivore diet to people that you think might enjoy it and it might help. So anyway, thank you so much for watching my video, and thanks for stopping by my Carnivore channel. I'll talk to you soon.